Hey everybody, happy Halloween, happy October, happy Spooktober. As you know, I've been having fun with some of these gaming challenges, and I did one this past week where I took Phasmophobia, and I took Pokemon, and I smushed them together. Kind of like I did Pokemon in Skyrim a few months ago. That's a plug, go watch my videos. This video is about my journey with Phasmophobia and Pokemon. And oh boy, did we have fun. So, my journey began, and I don't know if I have this footage or not. If I can find this footage, I'll put it on there. If I don't, I'll put something else up. So I started off, I have the scripts that I run where I combine two different games together, like Skyrim and Pokemon. If I move left, I move left in both games. If I move right in one game, I move right in the other game, you know, stuff like that. So I combined Phasmophobia and Pokemon, where if I moved right in Phasmophobia, I moved right in Pokemon. And that was fine. Movement, directional changes, everything like that was perfectly fine. I could use items in both games. I could press A in Pokemon and it would, you know, use an item in Phasmophobia, whatever. I ran into an issue though, where if I set down like a spirit journal or a dots projector or anything like that, if I just set it down in Phasmophobia, it would just vanish. I think it started off with a motion sensor. I set down a motion sensor like on the wall. I thought I was going to put it on the wall. And this has happened just after a Phasmophobia update, so I thought it was some new update where it didn't show the holographic image of it being on the wall or whatever. So I put it up on the wall, or I thought I did, and I clicked place button, and it just vanished. It wasn't in my inventory anymore, it wasn't on the wall, it was just gone, and I was like, what is happening? So I walked around the house a little bit, and I found it in the kitchen, like pointing downwards. Like, here's the motion sensor, it's like pointing downwards. I'm like, what is this part of the update? Is this part of Phasmophobia now? Is it a bug? Am I the only one experiencing this? Surely not. And it had been like a day or two since the update got pushed out. So I said, okay, you know, whatever, let me go back and get a camera and spirit journal and we'll try this again. So I went back to the van, got a spirit journal, got a camera, came back out to the living room, or the kids' room, whichever room the ghost was in, and went to put the spirit journal down, and it vanished too. And I was like, what? So then I put the camera down, and it did the same thing. So I said, what's going on? So I went in the kitchen, and they're both sitting there. And I said, okay, something ain't right here. Maybe it's the map. So I changed maps. I went to the campgrounds. I went to the campgrounds. And immediately I just opened up the gate and was like, all right, we're going to test this out. And I put the motion sensor on the picnic table right inside the gate, and it vanished. And I was like, okay, let me turn my script off. So I turned my script off, the one that duplicates the inputs between the games. And lo and behold, Phasmophobia started working fine. So I said, okay, well, back to the drawing board. Let's see what else I can do. So doing duplicate controls, duplicate inputs with Phasmophobia and Pokemon wasn't going to work. So I said, okay, let me try to get to Mr. Fuji before the ghost kills me, or something like that. So I tried that, and oh boy, was that something. I randomized the map selection, and of course chose the campgrounds. I picked all my items up, got Pokemon going, get into the campgrounds, and immediately, and what I'm trying to do here is get to Mr. Fuji before the ghost kills me in Phasmophobia. Okay, so I need to... The strategy that I had in mind was find out where the ghost was and go hide. So immediately after walking into the gate, I walked into the gate of the campground, and the ghost just pops up right in front of me, like maybe 10 feet away, and starts like singing his little nursery rhyme. I'm like, okay, it's right there. I'm gonna go to the other side of the map. So I proceeded to just walk over to, I guess, by the campfire where there's some tents and stuff, and I proceeded to play Pokemon in that little area for probably 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. I was unbothered. Here I was just crouched down, like walking around the bushes, you know, as I'm navigating through Pokemon, you know, doing my thing. Occasionally, the ghost would start walking around behind me or whatever. I'm like, oh, it probably hears me. Let me stop moving. But nothing really ever came of it. So I was just still walking around. And I got to, I think, just past Nugget Bridge. I think in Cerulean Cape. The ghost, like, my heart starts beating. I'm like, what's happening? And up to this point, I had heard, like, the gate locking and unlocking and stuff. I mean, like, no big deal. The ghost has no idea where I'm at. I'm on the other side of the map from it. You know, it's never going to find me. So I'm sitting there. I'm in Cerulean Cape, and my heart starts beating. I'm like, what? It sees me? How does it see me? And I look out over the picnic table, and it's just, like, walking towards me. Just, like, walking down. I'm like, oh, no, it sees me. And of course, like, the ghost, like, phases in and out, you know, as it's walking towards you, and I'm like, no, 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 and it got me, and that was the end of that run. I made it about halfway through, I think. So, I want to say I started the next night. I gave up that night because it was already getting pretty late, and for that run, since it's duplicate controls, it takes probably about an hour to successfully get to Mr. Fuji with a Gengar. I don't think I mentioned that. I'm starting off with a Gengar because it's ghost type. Yay, ghost types. I started with a Gengar in Pokemon, and it's Pokemon Randomizer. I don't think I mentioned that either because that will come into play later on. So I started the next night. I took a break, and then the next night I got back into it, and I said, okay. So my plan for finding out where the ghost was immediately and going to the other side of the map worked perfectly. It's just I need a bigger map. So I said, okay, well, what map has the most rooms in it? And for me, at this point in Phasmophobia, I had unlocked, I think the one of the most rooms in it I had unlocked was the high school. I said, okay, well, I'll play in the high school. To start off with, I don't know what happened, but my script didn't work. I forgot what I did. I messed with the script right before I started playing, which is a big no-no. You should never do that. I had to fix that. And that was some time wasted because I only have 5 minutes. I think it's 5 minutes after you leave the van or 5 minutes after you open the doors of the van. I'm not real sure. In any case, there was some time wasted there of me trying to open the door to the high school and it not opening, and having to fix my script and restart my script, and I don't know how long that took. So I was already behind. I get into the high school, and it's a huge map. If you've never played it, it's a huge map. It's over 20 rooms. I think there's 50 rooms, maybe 40 to 50 rooms. So I get inside and I start looking around for the ghost. And I walk around, it's like a big rectangle. It's like a big rectangle, the high school is. With, it has a middle, I think it's like a gymnasium and like cafeteria in the middle, staircases on the sides, and then around the outside are classrooms. So I immediately start walking around the outside, I think. Or maybe I walk through the middle, I don't know. I don't remember. I start looking in different rooms, just trying to find something. And I do come across where there's a room where the ghost is throwing around books. So I say, hey, this is probably the room. Because I open the door, the lamp's on. I didn't turn the lamp on. The ghost turned the lamp on. It's throwing books around the room. This has gotta be the room. So I immediately left. Went upstairs, went to the other side of the high school, and hunkered down in the corner and started playing Pokemon. Because, I mean, that was the plan. That was the strategy. So I get up there, and I wasn't up there for maybe 10 minutes, and I start hearing, like, footsteps. Oh, and I put an EMF reader, like, right outside the room. Like, right down the hall, I put an EMF reader, left it on, so that I would hear if it, like, ever came up or anything. And it wasn't, like, 10 minutes later, I hear the EMF reader going off, and I hear like footsteps and stuff. I'm like, what's happening? Has it already found me? Like, what's it doing? So I'm hanging out in the corner, just playing, like trying to keep quiet, because if I walk in Pokemon, I'm walking in Phasmophobia. If I run in Pokemon, which you can do in speed choice, you just press B. I run in Phasmophobia, so I'm trying to, be quiet, like pin myself against the wall so I don't actually run. And eventually, the ghost turns, I think it turns the light on in my classroom. And I say, oh shoot, it found me. And I'm like, okay, whatever, it found me, but maybe it was just coincidence that I'm in this room. Maybe it turned on a lot of different classrooms. I think I'm in Mount Moon. I've already beaten Brock, and I think I'm moving on into Cerulean at this point. Suddenly, I see like this fog like come up to me, and I say, "Oh, it found me." Okay, so I don't think I leave yet. I stay around for a little bit longer, and then like it turns out the light, and then it opens the door. There's a few things that happen, and I say, eventually, after so many things happen, I think after it turns off the lights, because it turned on the lights, and then like a fog came up to me, and then it turned off the lights, and then it opened the door. I think after all of that happened, I left. I left that classroom because I was like, it knows where I'm at. So I walk down the hallway and find another classroom with like this bookcase kind of leaning on its side a little bit, and it's kind of catty corner to the wall, and there's like another bookcase like in front of it. So I get around on the other side, I crouch down, and I'm just like, okay, this is where I'm hiding. This is my last resort. So I wait up there a little bit longer, and the ghost like comes into my classroom and starts making this god-awful noise. Or maybe it starts ringing the telephone first. It does a few things, and I'm like, okay, well, it found me in here too, and there's nowhere I can run because I'm backed in the corner, and to get to the stairwell, I have to like run by a bunch of other rooms and then run down the stairs, and then I'm on the other side of the school from the front door. This is not a good location to be in, so I'm just here to stay. Whatever happens, I'm here to stay. Well, it happened. The ghost went on a hunt, and it came right up to the bookcases. But then the ghost got stuck in the bookcase. And I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it saved me. And for that one singular hunt, I was like, am I good? Did I survive that? So I kept playing Pokemon in that same spot. 30 to 45 minutes passed by, and I think a total of like 48 hunts happened in that game. At the end of that challenge, I was like, I did it? Oh, and I escaped. I waited for a hunt, and then as soon as the hunt was over, I like ran out of the building as fast as I could, and I made it, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. But then I got the ghost wrong. I thought it was a poltergeist because it was throwing stuff around the whole time, but it ended up being a wraith. I guess technically I won that challenge, but it didn't feel like I won anything. So I went back to the drawing board. How can I make Pokemon and Phasmophobia work together? How can I smush them, smash them, mash them together to where they play nice together? So I came up with this idea. Defeat Brock before the ghost in Phasmophobia kills you. Okay, well that's pretty easy. We already know that you can hide before the ghost kills you and make it all the way to Mr. Fuji before the ghost kills you. That was like a hour long play session in the high school where the ghost did not kill me over like almost 50 different hunts simply because it couldn't get it through the bookcase, So how can I make it interesting? Okay. Defeat Brock before the ghost kills you, and figure out what the ghost is and complete every objective before the ghost kills you. Now we're getting a little more complicated. It's getting a little more high stakes here, because if I go into a map as soon as I go into the map, I'm going to have to start doing stuff. I'm going to have to start getting like evidence and stuff. Because I can't just hide and play Pokemon. Otherwise, I'm going to let the allotted time run out and it's just going to start hunting me and I don't have any evidence to go off of. So I thought this was a really good idea. I started this one and I started it off, whichever one it has like 10 rooms is the smallest house. The first 3 objectives are like cleanse the area with a smudge stick, repel a ghost from chasing somebody with a smudge stick, and I think get a ghost to blow out a candle. And I'm like, okay, I can get a ghost to blow out a candle. Smudge sticks are going to be a little bit difficult because I've never really used smudge sticks before, and they're much easier to use when you're multiplayer, when someone can have them and someone else can be the bait, and then you like swap. I guess it kind of works the same in single player. You're the bait yourself, I guess. I don't know. It's just, for me, it's just easier playing multiplayer in general because everyone can get an item and everybody can do their own thing. So that was what I was working with. Those were the 3 objectives I was working with. Cleanse the area with a smudge stick, repel the ghost from chasing somebody with a smudge stick, and get the ghost to blow out a candle. So I walk into the house with those 3 objectives in mind. I have my video camera, I have a flashlight, and I think I have a thermometer. I typically use a thermometer whenever I'm mapping out the place because ghost rooms are always cooler than the other rooms, so it's always easier to tell if you have a thermometer what a ghost room is. So I have the video camera, right? And I think, okay, well, I'm going to set this on the counter because I need to see if there's ghost orbs around. So I'm just going to put this on the counter here, and I go to put it on the counter. And you remember what I was talking about earlier, how my script, doesn't let me do that, and it just sends the stuff to random locations on the map? Yeah, I had forgotten about that. And it like all hit me at once. How am I going to get a ghost to blow out a candle if I can't set the candle down? How is this going to work? So I immediately like start looking around for the video camera kind of inside the house. I don't see it anywhere. So I go back into the van and I'm like, okay, let me figure out where it's at. And I have no idea where it's at. I still have no idea where it sent my video camera when I put it down. I have no idea. But like in that same time period I was able to get Gengar and named him a whole series of question marks Pokéx, which is pretty cool. And I go back into the house and start ghost hunting. So I start like walking around the house trying to figure out where this room is. I got my thermometer out. And I find the bedroom that the ghost is in. And I go back to the van and start getting everything. And I walk back in with a spirit box and a candle. And I have the candle out and I'm like, I don't think I can actually use this. So I like light it and I just chunk it on the bed and it stays lit. And I'm like, is that gonna work? So I pick it back up and light it and throw it back down and it goes out. And like every other time I do it, it goes out. So I'm like, this isn't gonna work. And then I placed it. I lit it and then I placed it down and I don't know where it went. But I got the objective. And that's all that matters. And I go back into the van and I think I get the EMF reader and I think I grabbed the spirit journal and realized I can't do anything with this, threw it back and grabbed something else. And grabbed the smudge sticks. I grabbed the smudge sticks and the lighter. EMF reader, lighter, and smudge stick. So I go back inside and mind you, 2 of the objectives rely on these smudge sticks, which I only have one of. I have 1 smudge stick. I have 1. I get inside the house, and the spirit box is going, so I'm like, hey, how old are you? Or whatever. I try to ask it questions to see if spirit box is a clue. And as I'm doing that, it turns off the light, and I go over to turn the light back on. And evidently, when I went to turn the light back on, I was holding the smudge stick, and I right-clicked and lit the smudge stick. And when you light a smudge stick, it's consumed. So I just wasted a smudge stick. The only smudge stick I had that 2 objectives were relying on. So that run was a wash. So I did end up finishing the Phasmophobia mission. It ended up being Demon. I don't think I got it right. I think I said it was Hantu. It could be one or the 2, and of course, the evidence that, said it was one or the other was either a Dots Projector or Spirit Journal, something I had to set down, which I can't do. So it was a 50-50 shot. I think it was a demon, though. Jumping forward to the next run, the 3 objectives were pick up paranormal sound on a parabolic microphone, which I'm going to stop there. Because the 2 other objectives don't matter, because I didn't even have a parabolic microphone. I didn't even know that could be an objective. The only objectives I've ever seen have been like, get a ghost to walk through salt, take a picture of something, witness an event. I mean, basic stuff, and here they're like bringing out, pick up some paranormal activity on the parabolic microphone. I'm like, what? I don't know how to do that. So, needless to say, I quickly exited out of that one and opened up a new mission, which the new mission was a lot better. It was get a ghost to blow out a candle, which I still don't know how I did that in the first run, but I know it's possible. Get a ghost to walk through salt. Very easy. Literally pour salt on the ground, and if you're in the room with the ghost, almost immediately it steps in it. It's just how it works, and it's great, and I love it. It's the perfect objective. And then do smudge stick while it's chasing somebody. Pretty easy stuff, as long as you can find out where the ghost is and get it to go into a hunt and have a good hiding spot for the smudge sticks. You're good. You're golden. You got the objectives. So that's what I was working with, and I was like, this could be the run. This could be the run right here. So I finally find the ghost room, and of course it's in the basement. The worst possible place to be in this house. So there's only one set of stairs, and it has no lights on the stairs, and it's the creepiest thing you've ever seen in your life. I despise it. Of course, the ghost is in the basement, and I have my video camera with me, and I'm like, okay, let me just see if I can throw the video camera on the ground, if it'll stay running. And I tried it, and of course, it didn't work. It doesn't stay running. In case you were wondering, if you throw a video camera on the ground in Phasmophobia, it doesn't pick up on the monitor. You have to actually place it on the ground. So that wasn't going to work. The only way I was going to get ghost orbs is if I physically hold the video camera and watch the screen. That's the only way I'm going to get ghost orbs. So while I'm walking back up to the van, I haven't talked too much about Pokemon. I haven't spoken too much about Pokemon up to this point, because not a whole lot's happened. I mean, I'm running Gengar with freaking Razor Leaf Fury Attack that crits, I swear, 50% of the time, and Fisher that actually hits every so often when I'm not paying attention. Anyways, there hasn't been much to say, but in this run, as I'm going out to the van after I get done with, the video camera thing, I'm walking up through Viridian City, and I realize, oh, I haven't delivered Oak's parcel yet. I haven't even gotten Oak's parcel yet. But I walk all the way back to Pallet Town before I realize that. I waste so much time in doing this. I walked up through Viridian City up to the old man and talked to him like twice, and then was like, oh, I need to deliver Oak's parcel, and never got it in the first place. So I wasted who knows how much time doing that. Like 10 minutes later, I finally get Oak's parcel and start making my way back to Pallet Town. And it's at this point in the run that I can really point out how awful it is to go back to Pallet Town from Viridian City when you're playing another game, because you have to walk backward. And in a game like Phasmophobia, that's terrifying. It's literally the worst. Especially in this scenario, when I have to walk backwards down a dark set of stairs with the ghost waiting for me at the bottom. It was not a fun experience, but I get down there and I got the spirit box with me. I'm like, hey, spirit box, or hey, ghost, asking a generic question. How old are you? And then it pops the light bulb, and I know that it's gonna be a fun time down in the basement. While I'm down in the basement, I have my smudge stick ready, and I'm playing Pokemon, getting through. I was getting through Viridian, getting to Pewter, and the ghost went on a hunt while I'm down in the basement with it, and it like comes out of his room and it's like at a weird angle, and it like starts walking towards me. I'm like, so I like take the smudge sticks and light them and just like run right by him and like get inside the room that it just came out of and like crouch down and literally hold my breath until the hunt's over, and then I use my lighter to like light my way back up the dark staircase and out of the house, where I finally breathe again. And I get out there and I realize I've done all 3 objectives, but I have like nothing to go off of for what this can be. Like, I have 2 pieces of evidence, actually 1 piece of evidence and 1 piece of non-evidence. So how am I gonna do this one? Okay, so I wasn't even into Pewter City. I had not even made it out of Viridian Forest yet. I don't even know I haven't made it to Viridian Forest yet. But as I was going there in Phasmophobia, I grabbed the black light. And I found fingerprints. So it was narrowed down to a demon and a Hantu again. Isn't that great? So I knew it was a 50-50 shot between a demon and a Hantu. The only way to tell the difference is with a camera. And I was about to go down there and videotape it. I huddled in a little corner and played Pokemon. And that's when we came to bug catcher number 3. There's always something with the bug catchers. The bug catchers always have something going on their team that makes them a boss for some reason. Harder than the vanilla Elite Four, even. And this particular bug catcher number 3 this time, has a Nidoran, which seems simple enough. A poison type little baby Pokemon. Unfortunately, this Nidoran knows Dragon Rage. Why? Because it just does. That's how the game works, I guess. I don't know. But my Gengar has to be, I think, at least a level 13 or 14 to have 40 HP to even get past this thing. If it uses Dragon Rage, which I think it only has 3 moves. Glare, Drill Peck, and Dragon Rage. Can we talk about that moveset? Like, what? How? Drill Peck was what you wanted to see, which is sad and scary because Drill Peck is a terrific move. But we get by it, and I have a little silent victory screech thing, and we make it into Pewter City for the first time with all the objectives done, save for getting the ghost right. So I'm looking at this being the run. This could be the run. I make it into the gym, no problem, and fight Brock. And Brock has a Dugong, which is great for me because it knows Body Slam, and Gengar takes it out in 2 hits, and it's great. And then he sends out a Slowpoke. Gengar takes it out in 1 hit, and it is great. So we beat Brock, and I start making my way out of the house. No haunts, no crazy events happen, and I'm able to get out of there, and I make it back to the van. Those of you who are astute will notice there's still time left in this video, though. So, unfortunately, it wasn't a demon or Hantu. It was a Jin, because of course it was. I don't claim to be a professional in Phasmophobia, so I don't know how it was a Jin and not the other 2 that I had it narrowed down to, but I consider that par for the course. So, I start another run, and the 3 objectives are repel the ghost from chasing someone with a smudge stick, have a member of your team escape from the ghost during a hunt, and witness a ghost event. Why I can't get another step in salt or take a picture or something like that, I don't know. But the ghost is in the same exact room as last time. I set everything up, and I go down there, and I'm getting ready for the smudge stick because I've already witnessed an event and I have some evidence, and I'm ready to get the other 2 objectives. I have 3 smudge sticks now. I went smart, and I realized that 1 smudge stick isn't enough. If you mess up, you need a backup. So I went ahead and bought 2 more, so now I got 3 smudge sticks. So I go down in the basement, and I'm standing down there with my smudge stick, and I hear the nursery rhyme start playing, and like my heart starts beating. Oh, snap! Is it a hunt? Hunt? And like I hear like it kind of moving around. I'm like, it's a hunt! It's a hunt! So I light one of the smudge sticks, and it stops. And I'm like, it was an event. I just wasted a smudge stick. So I go back up to the van, get another smudge stick, come back down. That happens again. I have one smudge stick left. So I go back up to the van, grab the last smudge stick, and the last smudge stick, and purposely wait until I see this thing hunt. Because the last two events have been like I hear it moving around, or like it like turns off the lights or something. During a hunt, I need to see it coming after me before I use this last smudge stick, because this is my last shot at getting this run right now. I get the smudge stick and I head downstairs, and I have it in my hand, waiting. And the ghost starts hunting, and I see it, and I like the smudge stick, and I run right by it. I'm like, I did it. I just did it. And I'm like, I'm thrilled because I just completed both of the objectives at once. I repelled it because it doesn't see me, and I escaped the hunt. I escaped the ghost because I'm the only one it could have been chasing. So obviously I escaped the hunt. So I go and I run and hide, but apparently you can't get both of those objectives at once. Why? That's just how, I don't know. That's just Phasmophobia, am I right? I don't know. Needless to say, I gave up I went and ate some chicken tacos, is what I did to make myself feel better. I made some chicken tacos and I ate them, and I felt much better. And I came right back to it because I felt cheated, because I had obviously done both objectives, but the game decides it's the game didn't register, and we go off the game, and the game said that I did not do it. So I didn't do it. After I got done eating my chicken tacos, came back to it and immediately went back into a run because I was dead set. I was gonna do this. And it was in the back bedroom again. The ghost was. So I set everything up, and the objectives were cleanse the room with a smudge stick, get a picture of the ghost, and get the ghost to step in salt. And the salt, super easy. Just pour it on the ground and boom, done. The picture, not so much, because you have to wait for an event or a hunt to actually take the picture. And the event, the ghost actually has to present itself to take a picture. And then the smudge stick, that's easy. Just wait for the ghost to like be in the same room as you or something. It doesn't have to be an event or anything. Just cleanse the area. I mean, just light the smudge stick and run around. So I'm sitting there waiting for to take a picture. And I take like 2 pictures by mistake. One of the radio, because the ghost turned the radio on, and I was like, I want to turn that off. It's annoying. So I went to go turn it off, and I accidentally took a picture of it. And you only have 5 pictures. You only have 5 photos on the camera at one time. And then another picture I took, I want to say I was like trying to turn on the light or something, and I just took a picture. Kind of like whenever I used the smudge stick, like a few sessions back. So I'm just waiting to take a picture, and suddenly there was an event, and the ghost was like standing like on the other side of the room from me. I was like, hey, there it is. Took a picture of it. We're good to go. I got that objective. I used a smudge stick, and I had the ghost narrowed down to like, I think 3 different ghosts. One ghost, it makes a lot of noise, and then it's quiet during the hunt. And this ghost I had not heard a peep out of since I went into the house, and I was in the house for like 15 minutes at this point. So I was like, it ain't that one. It's not I think it was either a myling. It was something. It wasn't that one. And then it could have been an Obake or a Goryo. A Goryo is only visible with a video camera and a dots projector. So you have to have a dots projector set up, and you have to have a video camera set up. Unfortunately, I don't have I can't put a dots projector down because my script will not let me. It transports it to another dimension somewhere out. It probably puts it in the Pokemon game. I don't know what it does. It puts it somewhere. So I cannot use a dots projector. So I'm just going off the clues that, hey, if I can only see a Goryo through a video camera and a dots projector, and I saw it when it was in the same room as me, that means it has to be an Obake, right? Right? No, it was a Goryo because Phasmophobia, am I right? Again, this isn't ragging on Phasmophobia or anything. I ain't some great player. I'm not a pro by any means. I play on the weekends sometimes. I play on weeknights with my buddies sometimes. I love the game. It's a great game. I'm just venting frustration. So I start another run, and I got the 3 objectives that are good, I guess. Of course, one of them is a smudge stick, because I can't go a single game without having to use a smudge stick. Repel a ghost with a smudge stick, whatever. The other 2 are witness a ghost event. Easy, I can do that. And get a ghost to walk through salt. Thank you! Thank you! This is the run. This has got to be the run. This is it. This is it. So, I go in, I'm excited because these 3 objectives I can do. I know I can do these. The salt and the witness a ghost event, easy peasy. The smudge stick, I've done it, and I'm pretty confident if I get it in a good position, I can juke it and move around it fast enough where I can repel it and get to a hiding spot at the same time. So I go into this round pretty confident that I'm gonna see this challenge through finally. I get inside the house and I start walking around, and I find the room pretty quick. It's the bathroom, and it's a few degrees cooler than the rest of the house. So I am able to find the room super fast and immediately start setting up. And I've learned from the other runs to like leave everything like on the sink. Like I don't need a flashlight right off the bat. It's not going to start turning off lights. So I start going back and forth to the van, like putting stuff on the sink and getting everything set up. And I start getting evidence pretty quick. I get the spirit box to go off. I get freezing temperatures. And I found fingerprints on the door. So I got 3 pieces of evidence, which narrowed it down to just the mimic. So I knew what ghost this was. I knew it was the mimic. Now I just have to do the objectives and beat Brock, which is huge because normally I got the objectives done and then had to find evidence. But this time I had all the evidence already done. All I had to do was the objectives and beat Brock, hide somewhere, and I was home free. I finally make it past bug catcher number 3 with his Dragon Raging Nidoran. I had to train up quite a bit for that fight, sadly. And make it into Pure City, fight Brock, and at this point I had already witnessed several ghost events, so get that objective out. I beat Brock. I had 2 objectives done. I only needed 1 more objective. I just had to juke out the ghost and use that smudge stick and get around it. So I stood in the kitchen. I literally stood in the kitchen of this house and just waited for a hunt to start happening. And it did me like it did when I was down in the basement and like juked me out once and made me use a smudge stick before it was actually a hunt. And just started doing these events. I was like, no, I need a hunt. And I had been in this house for like 30 minutes and nothing had hunted me yet. And then finally, after repeatedly calling out its name, and it finally hunted me. So I did what I did whenever I was down in the basement, and I waited until I knew for sure it was a hunt, because it had juked me out twice. It had juked me out twice, and made me think it was a hunt when it wasn't a hunt. And I had used 2 smudge sticks, so I waited until I knew for sure it was chasing me. And I saw it creepily like run out of the bathroom, and I lit the smudge stick and ran right by it. And I get in the bathroom, and I go to close the door, and the door won't close. So I just hid behind the door. I did the best I could. I hid behind the door. And it found me and killed me. But I had completed all the objectives before it killed me, and I beat Brock before it killed me. I got the ghost right, and I got all of the objectives done before the ghost killed me. So technically, I did it. Technically, I did it. Those of you who know me know that that still doesn't sit right, and I still need to actually make it out of the house. So, did I complete this challenge? Can you beat Brock and complete every objective in Phasmophobia before the ghost kills you? Technically, yes. But, can you make it out alive? I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it if you did. Leave me a comment below. What's your favorite ghost? I don't know. What's your favorite Halloween? Were you dressing up for Halloween this year? I don't know. Subscribe for more content if you're not subscribed. And I do plan on doing more content like this. I plan on doing a lot more content with Skyrim and Pokemon. When Starfield comes out, you better believe I'm doing content with that. I got some stuff coming up with, Thanksgiving and the holidays, Christmas, all sorts of stuff. Got some fun videos planned. Subscribe for all that. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your views. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.